like to call to order the regular board meeting of the St. Louis Local Development Company on Thursday, September 11th at 3:11 p.m. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Director Peoples,
Here.
Director Johnson,
Present.
Director Gleek,
Here.
Director Rabu,
Here.
Chair Gilbert.
Here. Thank you. We have a quorum. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from August 14th, 2025, the regular board meeting. Are there any questions or changes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay.
Peoples.
It's been approved. Motion by Director Johnson, seconded by Director Peoples. Will you poll the board, please?
Director Peoples,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Aye.
Director Gleek,
Aye.
Director Rabu,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
The minutes are approved. Next on the agenda is Resolution 25 LDC 09, approval of the annual RLF plan certification to the EDA. Zach, you're on.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. As the title of this resolution states, this is an annual certification that the board passes. If you've seen this previously each year, to say that we are following along with the RLF plan that was laid out in our EDA funds that were received from the CARES Act, which that plan is attached as Exhibit A on there. So this does not include, just to add a little context, the following resolution, which would be updating the plan, which I'll get into in a bit. But this one is that we've been following or certifying that we've been following along with the current plan that we would then submit to the EDA before the end of this month. Happy to take any questions anybody has.
As Zach said, this is something that we do annually. Any questions from anybody? Such exciting reading all those pages. Yeah. Hearing no questions, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Second?
Peoples.
Okay, it's been moved by Director Johnson, seconded by Director Peoples. Will you poll the board, please?
Director Peoples,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Gleek,
Aye.
Director Rabu,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
Resolution is approved. Next is Resolution 25 LDC 10, approving an update to the RLF plan. Okay, Zach.
Yes, I'm glad you found the last document reading so exciting. So this is an updated version of that plan. So Linda was great to create kind of an abbreviated version of kind of what has changed as an attachment as well with this plan. So that way, you know, kind of what's been going on in here. There's nothing really substantial that's being updated with this plan. Kind of two things to point out is one, increasing the minimum loan from $10,000 to $30,000, which kind of falls in line with what works well with these programs. And kind of as we plan when we go forward with utilizing these funds. The other one is just adding in some language on not giving loans to any illegal businesses under federal law, or utilizing the RLF funds to incentivize any jobs moving from outside of the city of St. Louis into the city of St. Louis. So, but Other than that, there's not too much updates to this plan. Kind of with the last resolution, we need to update our plan every 5 years. So this is a regular occurrence that we need to do. And with receiving these funds back in 2020 with the CARES Act, it's now come time to update this plan. So happy to answer any questions anybody has. I think Director Johnson, you have a question?
I do. I've heard about these different plans before whereas, we're giving and then they're supposed to work with us regarding jobs and that kind of thing. Is there anything in that would encourage these businesses to work with city agencies? And I say that, talking about Slate, specifically to kind of coordinate, you can't really make them. I would like to think that, but I guess what I'm saying is that when we give these big corporations the opportunity to do business and we give them incentives, their jobs, okay, that are created from that. You have a workforce agency in the city of St. Louis. It'd be nice to be able to, from my perspective, to have some teeth that would direct them to work with us when it's time for them to start hiring personnel. Because we have people who are coming in here at this rate who are not necessarily eligible for some of the programs that are funded by the state. We are getting like mid-level employees from corporations who've lost their position, or people who are starting their third career because they are displaced federal employees and they're coming to our agency looking for jobs. So we're getting a large cross-section of people looking for employment. It'd be nice if some of these businesses would coordinate with us. So I guess all I'm saying is there anything in there that would incentivize them working with city agencies as they start to place and hire personnel?
Yeah, I'm glad you said something. So there's actually a statute with the city of St. Louis that anybody receiving funds from the city talk to Slate. So on that document, it's listed on page 22 in the loan closing documents. They have to sign the Slate First Source Employment Agreement, where they would talk to you after receiving EDA funds. And then also listed as far as other programs, I believe it's on page 7. Slate is also mentioned in there. So as far as working with Slate specifically, that is included within this RLF plan and is included with all of our loan programs.
Okay, so I guess from an agency perspective, when people get them, is there a way for us to get a list so we can follow up? Because, I think there's just a little bit of a disconnect is what I'm finding. And
Yeah, and maybe Linda will be able to talk specifically because we do work with them on the closing side to connect with Slate. Linda, could you talk a little bit more on that?
Yeah, Kenny, in the past, when the board met in person, Ken Riddick would always attend the meetings and would meet the borrower in person, and they would kind of exchange information. And then once the agreement was signed, it was sent to Slate, and it was signed by whoever the director was at the time. And our process is still sending the documents to your office, the Slate agreement to be signed after the loan is approved. We just haven't made any new loans, and this does not include the SBA loans. This is our LDC loans. So we do have one that we approved last month to Crossroads, and I know he has worked with Slate in the past on other loans, but I'd be happy, we can get together and go over the documents and update things. But this has always been the policy of LDC. We encourage them to use Slate wherever they can, and again, I think, the process kind of differed a little bit during COVID when we weren't meeting in person, but we're certainly happy to work to get this all started up again.
yeah,
correctly.
I'd like to definitely sit down with you because I heard from an employer and they were not, I don't think they meant to be mean or disrespectful, but they were like, oh, I didn't know that you could help in regards to the type of employees they were looking for, if that makes sense.
Well, we always tell them that you have a variety of employees. And with the same thing
Okay.
that you just said, all levels. It's not just entry level. But I think the way the agreement was worded, it probably does reference entry level because that followed the ordinance, the way the ordinance was written. But we always tell them, whenever they go to hire, check and see. So I mean, they have we're always reminded of that in the past, so.
We might need to revise the ordinance, might need to get somebody to,
Oh, there's been talk about revising that ordinance ever since I've been working for LDC. So.
all right, well, Linda, you're going to bring me up to speed, so we're gonna have to figure something out. But yeah, it was an interesting discussion. I will let the person remain nameless, but I think they seem to be very genuine, like, oh, well, I didn't think we could come to this agency looking for this particular caliber or an employee with this level of experience. And we were speaking directly about degreed candidates.
Was that one of our borrowers that you were talking to?
I don't know, so I'm not,
Yes.
yeah,
Well, and you gotta remember too, most of our borrowers aren't the big corporations or whatever. These are people hiring very, one or two people, they're not.
yeah,
So, but again, our borrowers are always told, so
okay.
I'll be happy to meet with you and we can go over all this.
All right, thanks for indulging me. Sorry, Zach, I didn't try to torpedo your your part of the meeting.
Yeah, I'm glad you could bring it up, and it's specifically I could point to it in our RLF plan, specifically referencing that. So, does anybody else have any questions for any of us?
If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the updated RLF plan.
So moved. Peoples. Second, Review.
And moved by Director Peoples, seconded by Director Rabu. Will you poll the board, please?
Director Peoples,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Yes,
Director Gleat,
Aye.
Director Rabu,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
Aye. Okay, the updated plan is approved. Next on the agenda is the status of accounts. Chris sent that out just recently.
That is correct. Sent the draft last night and I sent the final about 1 o'clock. Well, I'm going to make an assumption that you all have it in front of you. So it is for the 2 months ending August 31st. We had revenues of $2,800. We didn't have any expenses this month. So that means our net income was $2,800. And that brings our fund balance still in the red, but it's $87,196.95. We didn't close any loans this month. We have a portfolio of 57 loans, 9.2 million in those 57 loans. The loans are broken down between funded loans in-house and SBA loans. 38 of the in-house funded loans and 19 of the SBA. 4.1 million in the in-house loans and 5.1 in the SBA loans, principal balance. On a delinquency, there's 4 loans that are delinquent. If you look at those, the ratio, if you look at loans, delinquent to loans outstanding, you got just a little over 7% delinquency rate. If you look at principal, delinquent to principal outstanding, it drops down to 5.47%. Down below, the final line is just your aging. As I said, 4 delinquent and 53 current loans. The second sheet is the financial statement that I just basically described. I did want to mention one thing. When I said that the fund balance, that the net income was $2,800, and which if you look over to the right there, the net income for the year so far is almost $5,600. You would think, well, that should go directly to the fund balance and reduce that deficit. That's income that the auditors asked us. So in addition to our regular expenses, this board is committed to the St. Louis Development Corporation $30 grand for administrative expenses, and I take a portion of that, 1/12 of that every month, and it's quote unquote down below the line. That's what the auditors asked us to do because we're so closely associated with SLDC that they didn't think that it was appropriate to show it as an operating expense, but of course it is money that comes out of us. So it's a transfer between the two agencies, and you'll see it down below the line, which brings you down to that 87,000 red fund balance As I said, we're moving in the right direction. Some months we move better. When we close SBA loans, of course, that knocks into it quickly. But even on a monthly basis, we should chip away at it. The next two sheets, there are loan funds that we have available. And one is just a summary and one
I'm
is-
sorry, Chris, can you speak up? I'm having
I'm sorry.
I'm having a hard time hearing.
This thing,
Maybe it's just my old age.
no. Is this better?
A little. I've got my volume up, so it might be on my side.
No. Okay, I'm gonna scream. So the next two sheets, the sheets that just describe the funds that we have. So you have 4.7 million in funds available, and these are all funds that I have in the bank. They're repayment funds. You've committed before this month. There was 2,150,000 of committed funds. The tornado relief program, the 2 million, that's the lion's share of that, and then Crossroads, which we haven't closed yet, 150,000. So if all those loans closed even today, which obviously they would not, you'd still have 2.5 million in dollars available to lend. The next sheet just described that 2.5, and it's all, virtually all repayment funds. It's in the third column, and it's made up of Metro loan repayments and LDC RLF repayments and the UEL repayments and EDA so those are the funds we have to lend out. And as I said, you got the 2.15 million committed. So your unencumbered is the 2.5. Something I haven't mentioned recently, you got a whole bunch of different categories up there in the sources. And really the EDA COVID 2019 relief payment, that's the active federal program that we have. The other ones, the EDA repayment, the First Bank, the Metro, the LDC, RLF, those are all really funds, local funds that they're either local funds or they're defederalized funds. So really they can all operate in very much the same way. The only one we have the most restriction on is the active EDA COVID loan. But anyway, you got 2.5, close to 2.6 million in funds available to write more checks for. I should say unencumbered funds. The last three sheets, it's just our delinquency report. Nothing changed from last month except that the 4 loans remain and they did not make any payments. So you got City Design, which is a old over 22-year-old loan that we gave back in 2003. They had complained about payments. We had worked with them and reduced their payment down, but even at a $300 level, they had asked for a moratorium, and we had asked to receive financials from them. We have not received those financials, but they have not made payments. The next page is so that is that loan was funded with block grant dollars, funds we get from CDA. The next sheet are I just termed non-CDBG, so those are the UEL, the EDA loans, the funds that we get from other sources. You have 3 loans on that: Better Weekdays, CMT, and Earthbound. Again, no activity this month from a loan repayment standpoint. And then the third sheet is the SBA program. I'm always happy when I get to this point because each one of those 19 loans are current with the 5.1 million in principal outstanding on those 19. That is my report in a nutshell. If there's particular questions, please ask.
Linda, did you have anything to report, any activity or discussions with any of the delinquencies?
Not on these. What we're trying to do, as we mentioned last month, is kind of get together that new collection policy to bring to you and kind of go over all that. And frankly, the last month, we've just been working on these tornado loan applications and just, there isn't really nothing new to follow up with those three until we kind of decide how we're going to do our policy. I can report, though, I know last month we mentioned that we had the very old borrower who was asking for a deed of release and who had offered to pay, I don't know, I think it was $5,100 or something like that. And the board suggested we go back and see if we couldn't get a little bit more. So I went back to him and asked if he could pay $7,000 for the deed of release. And he said that he thought he could, but he needed a little bit more time to get the money together. So we told him we would need it by the end of the month, or he'd have to come back again with a new request. So we're hoping to put an end to that by the end of this month. So.
Okay, thank you. Zach, do you have any updates for us on the 504s in the pipeline? And
Yeah, I will first talk about updates about the tornado recovery loan program.
okay,
So with that, kind of as Chris mentioned, we have the 2 million set aside for loans, which would equate to about 400 businesses at 5,000 apiece. As of this morning, we've received 100 applications. And we have also had the deadline extended. I believe you guys all received an email about it, extending out to September 30th. So many of the applications we received, we're still trying to collect missing information there, but working on following up with a lot of these borrowers. Currently, the committee that has reviewed the loans has approved 16 of them out of the 100 applications we received. We're finding too a lot of these businesses have not been either current on taxes or did not have a business license active during or before the tornado happened. So we're trying to process them as quickly as possible, but the businesses will receive emails shortly on the status of their loan, and loan documents will be sent out to the businesses those 16 businesses that have been approved. So please keep on sharing it, spreading the news about it, so we can get more applications in before the extended deadline at the end of this month. Then going on to 504 activity and other loans. Currently, our pipeline and the approved status, that is ones that have been approved by you all and the SBA. We have a little under 3 million between 5 loans that we're working, slowly bringing them to closing. And then upcoming ones, we have an additional 3 in the pipeline, all 504s that are about 2.25 million. So hopefully we'll be working on getting those to you all shortly. It's pretty similar to what I talked about last month, just still working through the process on getting those prepared to submit to you all. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
questions for Zach? Okay, hearing none, is there any other business? If not, is there a motion to adjourn
So moved, Peoples.
or a second?
Second.
Moved by Director Peoples, seconded by Director Johnson. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're adjourned. See you next month.
Bye-bye.
Bye.